A UN report showed that more than 7 million people died due to air pollution in 2012 alone, with around 600,000 of them being in Africa. It was reiterated that COP21 declarations be put in place and followed upon by all 178 countries who signed to it. Daniel Violetti, the Chief of Staff, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, explains more.
Well, I mean, definitely the impacts of climate change are already very visible, and they have consequences on the population. Extreme weather events and other extreme situations relating to climate are seen already in many African countries, and Africa is one of the ones who is having the biggest impacts of this, because you have desertification, you have droughts, or you have strong rains and floods. So all these are big problems, and this of course can have an impact on the population. From Paris at the end of last year, where the Paris Agreement was agreed, now we are looking now to implement it, because soon we'll enter into force. So what are the commitments that every country has made has to be, make it real and make it implemented at the country level.
Developing countries need at least $100 billion to combat climate change up to 2020. However, according to the head of Gender Climate Change and Sustainable Development Unit in the African Development Bank, Anthony Nyong, this amount is far from reach, and that's why other solutions to mitigate climate change must be sought.
You know that basically what we're suffering from today in terms of climate change is really not caused by Africa. We're basically suffering. But most of this would need support from the international community to take care of these actions in terms of investments. Right now, African countries are putting in just about 0.3% of their GDP in energy. And that's why we're in darkness. If we increase that to about 2 to 3%, we'll be making about 90 billion every year putting into energy. So there are ways in which we can put money. Even remittances that are coming into the country. If we find a way of securitizing it, we can get much more than all the development assistance Africa gets.
Speaking at the event, Rwanda's Minister for Natural Resources, Dr. Vincent Biruta, urged all countries to work together in unity with different stakeholders to achieve greater strides.
We must translate global commitment into local action. Through collaboration and knowledge sharing, we can build a low-carbon and climate-resilient Africa by investing in renewable energy, green cities, and reforestation. In doing so, we face our challenges in a way that brings opportunity and prosperity to our people.
The 8th Africa Carbon Forum will focus on ensuring that the countries put in place policies that are conscious of environmental sustainability and climate change resilience. At COP21 meeting in Paris, France in December last year, countries reached an agreement on tackling climate change and devising measures that could keep Earth temperature below 2 degrees Celsius or even 1.5 degrees Celsius this century. Since April, countries started appending signatures on the agreement. So far, 174 countries, including Rwanda, have appended their signature.